I told her I loved her within 36 hours of meeting her because it was just clear to me. And I wanted her to know that. And our circumstances were weird because she was traveling back to Brazil and blah, blah, blah. The way it worked was we walked past each other.
Yes.
In a group of people. And you said hi to me.
Well, you were hot. I don't
Guys,
know.
you just have to be hot. That's it.
That's what I was feeling, like that sparkle, that like that great feeling. For me, for the type of person that I am, who works better with options, like, option 1, 2, I'm gonna go with I'm not talking about them.
Nice. Great. Okay.
Wait, that's
option 2. Come on out. I'm so happy that people see.
Wait. Let me finish.
Thanks for coming to our podcast today. Good luck. Let's hope we found the right partner, because at this point, we're stuck. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. I'm super grateful you're here today. We're talking about finding the right partner, finding the one. What does that mean? What does that look like? And B and I talk about our story, our experience of meeting each other, what worked at that time that created such a beautiful connection to now where we're building a family together, what didn't work so well, and what needs to happen in our lives to be calling in or attracting the partner of your dreams. And we explore deeply the things that were going on individually in our lives while we were meeting, before we met, and then after, and what it really means to be in a relationship that might be a lifelong relationship. So I hope that you enjoy. We are really excited to have you here. Thank you again for your attention. Let's dive in.
Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Bia.
We don't have all the answers, but we're definitely in it. And if you're ready to lead your family by being more of yourself, not less, then you're in the right place.
We are so grateful to be in this with you.
This is Dad Easy. Let's get into it.
Exhale. Again.
That's it?
That's it.
Just 2?
Do you want one more?
Yeah.
One more. This last one was for Figgy.
I think I'm imbalanced because I can only inhale through my right nostril due to the stuffiness.
You should be exhaling through your mouth.
But I can only inhale through the right nostril. Folks, I sound pretty stuffy today. But we're doing it, baby. We're doing it.
We are.
And I love that was the start of our podcast today, because it answers the question as to, did I find the right partner? Yes.
Yes,
the one who makes me breathe and ground.
Yes.
I guess I already knew the answer to that question, but that is the topic of today. Before we get started, I'd love to know what is amazing about your day today.
That I got to hear Figgy's heart, the baby's heart. I was a little worried today, so listening to the baby's heart really made me very happy.
She went to the birthing center. It was boom, 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 boom. And I was over the phone because I couldn't be there in person. She called me, and the midwives are like, the baby sounds great. And I was like, what, 156 BPM? I guessed the exact heart rate of our child.
It was not exactly. It was 152. But they said that you were pretty close.
It's pretty damn good. I'm super connected to my child. We're a couple months away. It's almost baby time. Let's hope we found the right partner, because at this point, we're stuck. So we are talking about what it means to find the right partner. I think this is an appropriate episode. It will be an appropriate episode for somebody who is with a partner right now and wants to really check in, not on if your partner is right for you or not, but are you asking the right questions? Are you really connecting with your partner in a way where you can build a stronger connection together?
And also, this is such an important conversation for you to have with friends. Sometimes couples have some struggles sometimes, and it's an important conversation to have with people that are close to us.
Agreed. And we're dialed in. I think one of the biggest questions about today's day and age this is definitely a topic for gentlemen who are interested in exploring, anybody who's interested in exploring a lifelong partnership, being with somebody, building a life with somebody. These are really important topics and ideas to think about, specifically in our day and age right now. It can be, I've heard, very, very challenging to find somebody to settle down with, to be monogamous with, and maybe not even monogamous, but like somebody that you choose as a life partner Maybe there's many ways that can look. We're in 2025, man. Like, who knows what that can look like? But I guess the question is it challenging? Do you find it challenging to find the right person in today's day and age with the way that dating looks like and all of the technology involved?
I think it can be a challenge because of the way that it is nowadays. And also, I feel like there is so much information, so much out there, so much. Sometimes it's so easy to get access to everything that, at least for me, for the type of person that I am, who works better with options, like, option 1, 2, I'm going to go with I'm not talking about them.
Nice. Great. Okay.
Wait, that's
option 2. Come on out. Option 2. Option 2.
That didn't sound.
Oh, wow. He's charming. Wow. You look delicious, Fernando. He's got a Brazilian name, too.
Wait, let me finish because this didn't sound the way that I thought it would.
I'm so happy to be doing this with you. I'm so happy that people see.
Wait. Let me finish. And with someone like me who doesn't do well with many options, I feel like a lot of people, they feel like that pressure of always finding someone better, and they get themselves in like, oh, but I probably will get something better here, or maybe I shouldn't go to that person because, So I feel like nowadays we have so much access, and I feel like it's an empowering thing in a lot of ways. We have so much more access to the whole rest of the world that it might create a little bit of friction for some people to settle with someone. At the same time, I feel like when you get to know yourself so well, you will find someone.
I feel like dudes have a really hard time with this because there's always this feeling of having to like be enough. I have to be cool enough. I have to be nice enough. I have to be charming enough. I have to be gentlemanly enough, but I also have to not give enough fucks because there's this whole thing of like, and this is just like kind of attraction thing. When you're like drooling over a chick, yeah, they may dig the fawning for a second, but then it's just like they really want the guy who's kind of winking from across the bar type of thing, not the guy who's like, I'm obsessed with you, you're amazing. So it's this really difficult balance for men to find the right partner because they're trying to be all those things.
I mean, for women too, we all have also like kind of that type of thing, like type of game, where you're like, oh, we can't feel like we are too much into this guy. It's the same thing for women.
So I think what's interesting about that, though, is what, in my experience, when I talk to people about it, when I was in it, in the exploration phase, we'll call it, every time I was myself, none of those things actually mattered.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, and this is true in most areas, I would say every area of my life. When I'm myself, I become a magnet for things that match me, that fit my life, that fit my energy.
Absolutely.
And when I'm faking it or I'm trying to be, it may work for that night. It may work to like get the girl home. It may work to get her number. Mm-hmm. It may work to be the guy that she like talks to. It may work and I've definitely used the initial, swaggy tactics or whatever. And then if I'm not being me, it doesn't really matter. Like the person ends up vibrating out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I say vibrating out because I think of it as just like this attraction thing. Like you're magnetically pulled towards this person. And we all know that feeling when mm-hmm. you're just attracted to somebody. I'm not talking about intimate relationship all the time either. You're attracted to certain people who you hear on podcasts. You're attracted to somebody you see on Instagram. You're attracted to a business owner because of the attributes and the traits they hold, the way that they're being, who they are, their authentic self attracts you in some capacity. Mm-hmm. So I have found that it is very difficult to play the game. There's so many nuances to it and really getting in the game. And I got good at the game. Like I remember that feeling of like, man, I figured out how to like be a stud. And it always ended up being, if I was not being myself, and we met in a way where I wasn't being myself, mm-hmm. then it would likely end up pushing us apart. Mm-hmm. So I think it's very difficult for guys because it comes back to, I don't feel like myself is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, at least in my experience of talking with women about this, it's the same thing, which brings me to this idea that it is the people who want the relationship most that struggle the most to find a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because if we're talking about what we're talking about here, they already have this concept that it's, man, I need it. I want it so bad. And because I don't have it, it must be true that I'm doing something wrong. There's something wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough.
There's the needy energy. There is also like that strong point of view of what it should look like. And then everything that it's not that, you're already excluding. So, and you don't even know if that's maybe something for you, you know? So there are many things that I think people who are like so fixated about finding a relationship, finding a life partner, a person that I want to build a family with, and they just end up repelling that instead of attracting that.
Yeah, and it brings up the question, what is the right person? Because sometimes what you're looking for is somebody to spend some time with, camaraderie, connection, sex, like just a collaborative effort of like doing life together with somebody. There's different versions of what people want to. And I think that's maybe the most important thing to get clear on. What do you actually want? I remember you saying right before we met, you had a conversation with somebody and she asked what you want in a partner.
Yeah, it was, we met in September. July, I had a friend who was very much into personal development, and she was at home. And we were talking about relationship, and I was just telling her that I was in a phase of my life that I was very focused on my career. Like I was not really looking forward to have a relationship and meet someone right now. And, you know, and she was like, well, but do you know what you want in a relationship? And I was like, yeah, I guess I do. Kind of. Yeah, I do. And she's like, are you sure? Like, are you clear in what you're looking for in this person? Because someday this person might be at that door, and how are you gonna know that that's the right person, you know? And she encouraged me to literally do a list. And this sounds stupid because, you know, you're putting on a list someone and like giving out the characteristics of this person. But that gave me a lot of clarity of what I actually was looking for and what would be attributes and characteristics and things about that person's personality and all of that. And I did a list. It was July 2019, and I did a list saying how I wanted that person to be physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, like describe the person, got a very clear type of picture in my head of what that person would look like. And not that I was fixated in like, it needs to be this, but that's what in my heart, I felt like would be something that would be a person for me.
I think it's the most important thing to understand what you actually want, whether it's writing it down, seeing it, talking it out, because what it does is it squashes which is temptation, right? When I think about just like my relationship with you, what's immediate temptation or immediate desire versus what I actually want, right? Like if this is gonna be a weird correlation. Like if I'm stressed today, I may want to like get wasted and drink and right now because I'm stressed, and like that's a way I disconnect, or I want to go party, or I want to take drugs or whatever. That might be somebody's way to handle the situation. And I know that many times in my life, what I've done is I've known what I wanted in that moment, and I've taken that, and like the next day you get the hangover of like, I didn't really want that. So when you're saying get clear, I definitely understand that when I think about partnership, I see 50 years. Mm-hmm. What do I want in a partner? Do I want a smoking hot chick? Absolutely. But I'm not willing to sacrifice somebody who I can talk with, somebody who I can explore with, somebody who likes the things that I like. I'm not willing to give up all that for somebody who's super hot. I want both. Like I want all of that. And I think the easy thing to do with relationship is when you're not clear on what you actually want, you'll fall for the shiny object. Mm-hmm. You'll go for whatever's in front of you, because there's also this thought that, oh my God, this is here and I don't want to lose this. Mm-hmm. Or I don't like, oh man, there's this person and I like this person for these reasons, even though I don't feel like this really fits the bill, fits enough of the bill, so I'll just kind of go with it. I think laying out the law of what you truly desire in a relationship for real, if that's something you want, is a long-term relationship with somebody, to build a life with somebody, you need to be clear on what those things are.
And you need to be clear of why you want these things. I think for me, I was very clear in why I wanted that person to be in that way. Like, I remember writing in my list saying things like, oh, I want someone that it has a very positive mindset, someone that see like the best in the world, and it's very focused in themselves and growth and things like that. And the reason for that is because I was in a phase of my life that I realized how important that was for me, and I want that for the rest of my life too. So it was very clear to me that finding someone that was not interested in that didn't want to like grow and develop themselves, it wouldn't be a great partner for me, because it just would pull me back. And it's not that I did this list and then I got super like fixated on that, and then like I was talking about that at the time. I was thinking about that and I was trying to find someone like that. I literally did that for clarity purpose, to be prepared when the moment would come. And then I let that go. I was not, like searching for someone.
It's interesting because that's where our stories are slightly different. When we met, I was, I guess, like Monday or Tuesday, I was in a car with my buddy driving over the Manhattan Bridge. We're listening to a country song and we're singing. Sorry, you've heard this story 18 million times, but you haven't. And I had gotten out of a situationship a couple weeks prior. It was just like kind of closing that chapter out of my life and talking to him. And I was like, bro, I just feel like I'm good. Like, I'm really good. I don't need anybody. I'm not looking for anything outside of me. I'm focused on myself, on my work, on what I'm building with my life. I was doing a lot in the fitness world in New York City. I was feeling so on top of the world, and like that's where I wanted to put my focus. And I was aware that like I'm not going to deny a relationship. I'm not like avoiding relationships, but I felt so like I had everything I needed. And that, yes, I was aware of what a good partner would be like, but I didn't have like a list or anything. I just was clear that I was good, and that felt really good. And then on Friday, I had met Bia, so a few days later. And I think it's interesting because the version that you're talking about is like you got clear, and maybe I did get clear over the weeks leading up to that, and I just didn't, get writing it down type of thing. But when you take that clarity, and I like to say, put it in the shoebox, put it under the bed. Like, have what you want, see it, make it real, then put it away. Because that turns off the neediness. Yeah, then you're just like existing. And you're existing as the person that already has that in your life. And if there's anything that I find fascinating about your version of how when we met, it was that. Like, I hear you talking about what you wanted, and then when I met you, you were representing all that you said you wanted in your life through a partner.
Yes.
Like, you were already it. You were giving yourself that. And if I can look at myself at that time, I think I was giving myself that too.
Yeah, I think both of us, we're not asking or looking for someone to feel what we want. We were being what we wanted. Yeah. And I think that's what it allowed us to find each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something magical about letting go. Now, this topic is so hard because I think about the areas that I'm struggling with it in, and like I know this truth and I still struggle to do it, right? And it's not relationship now, it's other things. But when you really want something and you feel like it's so important, you feel like it's the most important thing, and if you had it, your life would be so much better. When you have that energy about it, I find it almost never shows up. It seems like it goes the opposite direction. You're just like this energy of not want, like you're the energy of needing it. So I don't know, like the way that I work it out in my head sometimes is like, because you think you need it, God's delivering it in this way where like, I'm going to show you that you already are everything you're looking for. So like, you can't have that, because if I gave that to you, you'd think you need it. and this triggers the shit out of people. It triggers the shit out of me, to be quite honest, that way of thinking. I'm not saying that's right, but it just seems like a really interesting correlation. And maybe it's just the way I'm coming at it. But it almost feels like when you're in this very strong need, the thing retracts.
Mm-hmm.
But when you already decide, like,
it's because the needy energy implies that it's not there yet. And you feel like, oh, I need to bring that thing, and that thing is not here yet.
Yeah.
And when you have that feeling of neediness, it's actually telling the universe that it's like, it's not here. So it's like literally repelling. So instead of like, just like trust that it's going to come in the right time and trust the perfection of that, you're just like creating friction and resistance in that thing. So it's I have so many friends who navigated that, and they were like, oh, I want a relationship so bad. I want that so bad. And that's exactly when it wouldn't happen.
I remember sitting at a table in Brazil with two of your friends having this exact conversation.
Oh yeah.
And it was maybe 2 years ago, 2.5.
No, it was, the first conversation?
Whatever. Let me finish. So we're sitting at this table, and they're both saying, in one sense or another, how do we have a relationship like what you guys have built? Like, there's so much love here. There's so much connection. You guys are just like, there's so much synergy. Damn. Why can't we find that? Like, what's missing? And it was actually really beautiful because both of them sat down open and ready to receive. They were curious rather than like, I don't know. I don't feel like people actually ask that question in curiosity. They're more just like, give me the answer. Mm-hmm. They were really curious and open. And there was a moment there where we were just talking about the power of loving yourself and honoring your journey and trusting how perfect the moment is of you being in your singleness, and that person already exists. If you desire it, the person already exists. The only thing that might be keeping it away from you is that you are in this need for it. The person's already there. And when you trust it's already there, you now are in full acceptance. And now we're going like down the woo-woo path a little bit, but you're already in full acceptance at that point that it's here, that it's mine, and that it's like my inheritance. Like it's time, like I get to have it. And it's just my attachment to the timeline that's kind of ruining the vibe here. Like the truth is, I already know. And we had this amazing conversation with them. And all we did, both of us, I remember just pumping them up. I remember saying to them, like, you are so perfect. You are so everything you're looking for. This guy will come into your life at the perfect time when you're meant to have this guy. And when you accept that and you allow that and you receive that as truth, then you are expecting in a way you haven't expected before. Your eyes are open. And one of these partnerships that ended up when we're going to their wedding this year, one of these partnerships that was not a thing at the time.
And the other one, we went to the wedding last year.
And we just went to the wedding last year. At the time, this was a partnership that didn't exist. And she was like, he was right there. And like he had tried to connect with me or whatever. And then one day it just clicked. Like, This is my partner. I say that to say, when we're searching for a partner and we're in this need-based thing, like, oh God, I got to find it, they're not here, then the energy is they're not here.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So you're noticing how they're not here. That's your worldview. And I think when I think about our relationship, and I have everything I need, I was so locked into just like, if that person is going to come into my life, they're going to come into my life, and I don't have to control that. I can let that go. Then I was expecting, like, of course she'd come in because it's the right time, because I'm ready. Yeah. There was just like an of course, obviously.
I feel like both of us, we were like in such a happy phase of life. We were so good with ourselves, and we were focusing on our career and in things that would make us feel good in our, energy and health and all of this. And when you are in that vibration, you attract what you are. So I think we attract each other. And in the beginning, before I met you, I didn't believe in this thing of like, oh, when you know it. I have heard this before. And I just like, okay, all right. But when I met you, I really understood. I was like, okay, I understand now. And it's truly something that I can't really explain. And it happened to a lot of my friends too. They felt the same way. They were like, oh my God, when you said that, I didn't think that was for me, but something shifted and I met that person and I feel it. It is the person for me. So I really do feel like when we find this person that it's supposed to be our partner and the person that we want to build a life with, there is a different feeling and a different sensation about that. That's what I believe based on my experience and my friends' experience.
And here's what happens. I would say specifically with guys, but I also think girls are hyper analyzers as well when it comes to relationship stuff.
For sure.
Notice how not logical everything we're saying is. Like, I guess you can make, like, it becomes logical as you talk it out, but it all just kind of seems like energy and woo-woo and attraction and all that. But what I found is that it's so not that. It's just turn off all the trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the best things in life seem to show up. Now, it doesn't mean you can't go intentionally start, I don't know, like grooming yourself to be attractive to a partner or wearing clothes that you feel like are a respectable fit for you,
but also do that for yourself because you feel good.
Totally. Like all these things, when you start to feel good about yourself and put attention on that, great. Those are like maybe I should, cut my hair once or trim my beard or something. And by the way, if you like long hair, you like a long beard, cool. Whatever, that's more classic. But point being, when you start to decide that I am the person that calls this type of partner in, like this partner's ready for me, I'm ready for this partner already exists, and it's just a matter of the perfect timing, and I need to detach from the timeline, I can get off of the logic, and then I can just be so excited about the life I'm living that I get this time. I posted something like a couple weeks ago when you were in Brazil, and I was here by myself. And I just posted like how beautiful singleness is. And I wasn't obviously single, but I was home for 2.5 weeks by myself and just remembered how amazing being alone is. And I can say that because I have the gift of not being alone when you're here. So I get the best of both worlds. But I was just remembering the power of like having a night. Like, interestingly enough, I don't think I ever watched TV while you were gone. When we're home together, we watch a lot of TV at nighttime. And I just felt like this real desire to be with myself. Like I would read a book, or I would meditate, or I would listen to music, or I would just like sit and kind of stare at the wall and think about the day or journal. And there was this real loving time with myself that I was giving myself. And I remembered how many times I had done that with myself prior to us meeting. And I think I was in love with the idea of being with myself. Like I really loved that. And because I was in that space of love, I think the intensity in which this partnership came into my life was a reflection of that. It was like a slingshot. It was just like, if I'm going to have this much love on this side of my relationship with myself, like I'm just going to be so in love with me and my life with me. And people call that conceited. People call that, and you could feel the difference between narcissism, being conceited, and like really loving yourself and loving your life. I was there in the love myself and love my life thing. And I went from like that end of the spectrum to like, boom, being madly in love with this person and finding the perfect partnership and all that. It was like a slingshot from one side to the other, where like literally, no exaggeration, I told Bia, I told her I loved her within 36 hours of meeting her. Because it was just clear to me, and I wanted her to know that. And our circumstances were weird because she was traveling back to Brazil and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And this is making me think about what Abraham Hicks always says, choose the path of least resistance. And I feel like when you are in that space where you are like, resisting what you have, either the singleness or being with someone, like whatever is where you're at, when you're choosing to being somewhere different than that, you are creating resistance. That means that you are resisting what is. And if you keep choosing the resistance, you keep choosing feeling like that's not what you want, it's not exactly the reality that you would like to be living, like you're just reinforcing that path and just making things much more complicated. And when you choose the path of least resistance, being happy with what is and being grateful for what is, we know that life is cyclical, that life is passing, and this phase that you are in right now, it's not going to be the phase that you will be in a little bit. So if you enjoy to the max, like I enjoy my singleness to the max. I was enjoying everything that I could.
Whoa.
You know, like I was having a lot of fun. I was loving my single life. And then that phase was gone. I met you and we started dating. And then a few years later, we got married. And a few years later, we're having a baby. So it's another phase, you know, we're about to step into a completely new phase. And we enjoyed a lot our life where it was just the two of us. And we were not resisting it and saying like, you know, we want to have a baby, And like, we are trying so hard and we are going through it. And, you know, and then it happened. So now we are getting into another phase. So you might be someone that it's looking for a relationship and you wanted it so bad that everything that you have right now, it's not good enough and it's not, you know, and you're resisting the singleness, but actually it will not support you and find someone because you're just resisting it. So choose the path of least resistance.
You know what's interesting about that? Like, I think if I knew what this would turn into, I mean, I said, excuse me, I said right after I met you, I walked over to my friends and I was like, shit, I just met my wife. And they're like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, no, for real. I just met my wife. So there was like a knowingness there. But at the same time, there was also kind of like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course. You met your wife. It was like this Brazilian chick who barely spoke English. I'm like, she'll love me. She won't understand anything I'm saying. There was kind of this like, you know, silliness to it. And if I knew, if somebody told me in that moment, you know, a genie in a bottle came out and was like, hey, like that's actually the one, you're going to make a baby with her, you're going to be married in the next year and a half. Like,
you'd probably be like, oh no.
I honestly, I'd run. Because I was so connected to the life that I had and loved my life so much. The thought of losing that, giving that up, I don't know. It's like a chapter change that I feel like I wasn't at the time. Like if you told me, I'm like, I'm not done with this chapter. This chapter's too good. Like I don't want to finish this chapter. And I think that there's something really powerful to that in what you're saying, which is I didn't resist any of what was happening. Right? When I think about the moment that we met, I mean, I resisted plenty, I'm sure, but like the whole chapter shift, it was just like, what's next? What's next? And I just allowed, you know, even I'm thinking about this with business right now and some moves I want to make. And this is a great example. Like I have no idea. What if we're watching this, listening to this in a year from now, and it's like one of the top podcasts on the planet?
That would be super cool.
So cool.
Wouldn't it be nice?
I don't know. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
I would love it. I think if it was doing good things for the world, I'd love it.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, when I started this idea, it was definitely not like, Bia, let's become the most famous podcast in the world. It really is just like, let's do something we love. And when you do something you love, it momentously takes you somewhere. It's less resistance, more ride the ride. And I think that's what, when I talk about, because we were asking, you know, before we started recording, we were like, is the question, how do you find the right partner? Or is the question, how do you attract the right partnership for you? I think it's a hard question, but what I'm starting to understand is it's more about following the momentum, following the energy, following the calling for the next step. I always call it lantern walking. Like you can't see 50 yards, 100 yards, 200 yards into the distance, but what you might be able to see is the next step. And if the next step is clear and exciting, like there was 0% of me, 0% that thought anything other than I want to be with this person right now. From the second we started talking, it was, I want to invite this girl to the bar with me after this. There was no question. That was my lantern step. So I did. And then there was the kiss that night, the first kiss.
He wanted to kiss me so bad.
You have no idea. It was like a heroin addict. Like I was like, we were like fondling hands under the table and being all cute. And I was just like, I know the next step. I want to kiss this woman. I want to show her my love. And I also remember like the sex thing, not wanting, like I remember saying to myself, I don't want her to think this is a one night stand thing. I don't want her to think that I'm just in this for like, I do not want to have sex with this woman tonight. Like that was something I really was thoughtful about, but I wanted to show you like my feelings for you. I could see each next step. And every time we've had struggle in our relationship, I'm noticing, I think this is fair to say, it's when I was trying to think too many steps ahead. So when the marriage thing started to happen, I was thinking about 50 years and like trying to logically work that out, and it was not happening. Mm-hmm. Whereas when it was just like, do you want to be together right now? Yes. What is that going to take? You've got to get married. Like that's literally where we were at.
Yeah. Well, with our situation, I didn't force you to get married to be with me, but
help me. Save me. What's the safe word? No, there wasn't any forcing. It was due to our situation during COVID and all that jazz. It was really intense. So anytime I've struggled in making decisions about relationship, it's been when I'm not present to the lantern step, to the next thing in front of me. Mm-hmm. And that's an encouragement I would have for anybody listening is if you're exploring, like, is this the right partnership? Do I want to continue to be in this relationship? Is this a person I want to spend my life with? How do I find that person? You listen to the next step. And maybe the next step is be so freaking single right now. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes the greatest, like what if the road to the partnership is you falling in love with you enough to call a loving partner in that matches that type of love? So what you start doing is you start dating yourself, right? So like the guy who really, really wants to start a family, it's like, great, go and like take yourself out to dinner. Treat yourself the way you would treat a woman. Like respect yourself that way. I know that sounds really weird, but maybe that dinner where you're sitting with yourself, having a healthy meal and like treating yourself is where the waitress walks up and you just, boom, spark it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm in love with this waitress. And that's where you meet her because you were doing the thing that is the loving action for you. Things like that and let's talk about even where we met, right? Like we met at shout out to Lewis. Lewis House had the Summit of Greatness in Columbus, Ohio. Bia lives in Brazil at that time. I live in New York. We met in Columbus, Ohio. How weird is that? Mm-hmm. But it was this personal development conference that was surrounded around being your greatest self. Mm-hmm. Of course we met there because it's an expression of where we were at in our life at that point. Mm-hmm. Like we're going to a place where we are making ourselves a priority, where we're creating the life we say we want. We're committed to greatness. We're committed to connection. We're committed to an abundant life in all domains. And of course, we're going to find each other in that space. And oftentimes, it's like when I talk to people and they're like, I want to settle down with somebody. And I'm like, well, what does that look like? I go to bars every week. I'm like, oh, so you're trying to find the person who's going out to bars to get, messed up on a Friday night? That's where you want to call in, like that's, and I'm nothing wrong with bars or drinking or anything, to each his own. But often you should check in on if that's the type of place where you think you're going to find the type of partner that you want to be with. Mm-hmm. Now, I definitely didn't go, and you didn't go to that thing to find a partner. Mm-hmm. We went to that thing to be deeper in connection with ourselves and to grow and to learn. So shocker, we found another person who was growing and learning, and that was a perfect alliance and connection. I think there's so much freedom in that. I don't have to go find, I don't have to go search. I need to keep doing the things that are so vibrantly me, and that person will show up when it's time for them to show up.
Yes, I agree.
Were you just like staring at me? Mm-hmm. She's in love for me. So the question really becomes, how do you know it's right? Like that's always was it the first love at first sight thing? Is that a real thing? I have no idea. Is there like a real soulmate?
It was definitely true to me. How do you know it's the right person for you? I feel like, if you're having lots of red flags, whatever red flags mean to you, it's probably not the right person for you. I do believe that there are red flags and they are like showing you something, not necessarily that that's a bad person, but it's just an indication that maybe it's not in alignment for you. And I feel like sometimes we are just enrolled into patterns that we are used to, and we think that that's the person for us because that's what we grew up seeing. And I think it's important, and that's the part of like knowing yourself and getting to know yourself so deeply. It's gonna give you the understanding if you're just repeating a pattern or if you're really like finding someone that it's in alignment for you.
Let me ask you a question about this.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do? How was I being? What did I not do? What was I not being? That made you feel the way you felt about me from the start?
I think there are a few things that were not what you're doing or, what you're not doing. I think it was like a feeling thing, like the immediate feeling that I had when we met and we start talking and we started sharing like about my life, your life, what do you do? What do you, like, what are you doing here? Right? You came like, like just the conversation that we had. Everything just felt in my body right. It felt like that little click when you were, even not in an intimate relationship, but you meet someone in an event and you're talking to that person. And everything that person is saying is like feels something, a sparkle inside of your body. Like that's what I was feeling, like that sparkle, that great feeling. And then as we start to know
But what
each
about
other,
before that? Like the way it worked was we walked past each other.
Yes.
In a group of people, and you said hi to me.
Well, you were hot. So I was just like, oh. Cute.
I don't guys, know. You just have to be hot. That's it. Just be hot.
No, it was a feeling.
Thanks for coming to our podcast today. Good luck.
It was a feeling. Like I thought you were cute.
Okay.
And I felt
so there's a certain sense of attraction. Definitely. Great. That's important
but not necessarily the person for you. I do think that you're gonna have. It's important that you feel attracted to the person that you're gonna spend the rest of your life.
Yeah, like a sense of attraction. Now, it might not even be physical attraction. I've been attracted to people that honestly, like if I saw a picture of them, I'd be like, okay. But then I got to know them for a few minutes. I'm like, okay. Whoa. Mm-hmm. Like my physical attraction towards that person changed as I met that person more. Mm-hmm. So I think attraction is the word, maybe not just physical attraction. Mm-hmm. In this case, I think there was a physical attraction. You saw me prior too, the day before, right? No, I haven't. My friends have seen you and the group of friends. I see kind of like the silhouette, like I couldn't. Silhouette. It's because my frame was so jacked. Yeah. I like your arms. Oh, yeah, baby. It's my favorite episode so far. I'm going straight to the gym after this. So I saw you and I just felt saying hi. But you walk away, it was whatever. And then when we met, when you came and said hi, that was the moment that I had that feeling of like everything was clicking. And then there are things that you did after that reinforced my... Like what? Like the way that you're treating me, the way that you're talking to me, how affectionate you were being, how you were not like afraid of saying what you're feeling, how... I told you I love John Mayer within the first few minutes. Exactly. How cute you are, how loving you are. Like things that for me are very important in a relationship. You were just like giving me signs. So what's interesting about that? Sorry to cut you off, but you move so quick through really important parts. Okay. I want to... All of those things, and I'm remembering, we talked, I got your number, I invited you to the bar, we went and got an Uber. We went in the Uber together, like a group of us. Like the opening of the door, the making sure you sat in the front and I sat in the back, even though I'm going to get car sick and throw up. No, we sat together in the back. No, you were in the seat in front of me. No. Absolutely, bro. 100%. Okay. I have a video for sure. And like the goofy and the silliness and just like the taking care of, can I buy you a drink? Like all that stuff. I'm now paying attention to it, and I don't think I've thought of this since the day it happened, but those were all just me being me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to think those are good qualities. That's why I choose to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how I was raised, thanks to my parents, and they were excellent in teaching me ways to be a gentleman. But what's interesting is you find those things important. Those
Mm-hmm.
things make you feel safe, make you feel comfortable, make you feel loved, make you feel the twinkle inside. So maybe you're not a genuinely like that type of guy. Maybe you're more kind of brute, or you're quieter, or you're a little more whatever. That's okay, because if you're being that and that's your authentic self, assuming that's actually your authentic self, then the partner who appreciates that, like he's got a quiet like confidence to him. He's not a talker. I'm always a talker, and I like to be the center of attention, and he's able to like sit back and let me be the center of attention. Maybe that is a good fit. Point being, I was being more of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important just as the man to recognize. You don't need to be more than you are to go get the girl. You need to be more of who you are, and the gal will show herself. So I think that that's really important too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just like how we were navigating, we were going through a crazy situation where I was moving to Malaysia. You were going back to New York. We had no idea how we would make it happen. And you were very confident in like, I don't know either, but we're going to figure it out. And we were speaking every day, and you were keeping that vibrant, loving relationship that we were creating alive. So it didn't feel like I was the only one, trying to make it happen, or I was the only one trying to reach out and talk to you, things like that. So there are lots of things that happen, like you wanting to introduce me to your sister because she ended up being in town, like all these things were all.
I introduced her to my sister and took her out to breakfast with us a day and a half after we met, and hours after I told her I loved her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Nick's not
for
aggressive.
me, these were all
red flags.
green flags. For a lot of people, it might be red flags because they are being like, "Oh my God, like, I don't want to."
Agreed. By the way, that's a really important point. I would not say I love you on the second day of knowing somebody to almost any girl that I've been with previously.
Mm-hmm.
There was a deep knowingness that you had to hear that. And now knowing you, it makes so much sense why you needed that. Because she's somebody who to this day, she'll kind of ask me like, what do you think? What do you think? Like there are moments when she kind of lacks that willingness to kind of trust the moment. She also is an incredibly intuitive person and trusts when she needs to trust. But certain things, she still like needs that confirmation from me, right? And that like now knowing you, if somebody else were to go try and steal you, I'd be like, make sure you tell your lover within a day so that she knows. But don't be creepy about it. Like just be honest and like be truthful. So
if one day this podcast becomes famous, I can perceive like lots of people like, I love you.
Hi, I love you. I love you. Back off. She's done. Locked and loaded. Yeah, I think there was a certain level of that. Trusting myself and knowing and going for it. And that was my honest self. And I've always, you'll ask my mom and she'll tell you this, I've been a lover since day one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a natural lover. I
can feel that too. Like, I know you are not faking. I know you're not trying to, like we like to say the fuck boys, like they try so hard and they are like just being that. And then you get a meeting and it's not really like, that's not their real intention. And I can feel, you can feel, everybody can feel if it's true or not. If you're questioning yourself, like, I don't know, it's probably like not, I don't know. True. So, yeah.
I think people are energetic geniuses. I think we're born energetic geniuses. And that inevitably people will feel if what is happening is authentic or not. So much of the work is already done. You just have to be more of yourself. And if you keep swinging and missing, there's something for you to learn. Now, this is a big chapter of this, which I think made a huge trajectory shift for me. And I don't know if it was conscious or subconscious at the time, but what I realized very early on about this relationship was that there was an opportunity for growth. It was the next phase of my life. Like that's what it felt like, was that this person was going to be offering me growth that I could not find just being by myself. Did you feel that way when we had first met?
Absolutely.
Like, that's a weird thing and maybe that's because that's what we wanted in our lives at that point. Maybe that's a universal thing. Like, your partner is meant to, I have heard relationships, having children, of course, but relationships in general, they teach you things that you really can't maybe learn on your own or take you to a level you
I
haven't
like to say
been.
that we are mirrored for each other, and they are mirroring a lot of things that you need to see. They illuminate a lot of that, and nothing better than a relationship to put you at your edge and see the things that you need to see and face it.
Dude, I mean, the confrontation of some of my commitment issues, and now I think they're happening big in my business life. Like, I've gotten to a certain level that's comfortable, and now, like, there's certain level of commitment in my professional life that I have to get to that I'm kind of bitching out on. And this relationship was a huge teacher of what it means in my intimate life to double down, trust, and go for it. And that you're always going to be taken care of. You're always going to be safe. You're always going to be able to make it to the other side. So trust yourself, trust the universe, trust God, trust whatever it is you need to trust, but get the thing going. And I could feel from day one, there is nothing boring about this relationship that's about to happen. This thing is about to light me up. It's going to challenge me. And it fit perfectly. It was like, no, she's not like some Jenny down the block chick. She's in Brazil. Like, of course. And then COVID starts a couple months later. And now we're in 2 different countries. And you moved to Malaysia, the other side of the world. And now we're doing this thing where we're together and also physically not together. Of course, I couldn't just pick a relationship with somebody down the street. Like, I needed the challenge of how do you make this life work and that life work, of relationship and partnership and long distance and all those things. There were so many pieces that I knew if I had sit back and say, okay, this is what it's going to take. If, like, I got the list on day one, I'd probably be like, maybe I'll just find Jenny, But I went with Beatriz. And I keep expanding because of it. And that's perhaps my favorite part. Selfishly, it's my favorite part of this relationship, is that every single day, in more ways than I can count, it requires me meeting more of me, getting to know more of me, seeing another depth of myself. And I think that is a huge sign of a partner that you want to do life with, is somebody that somehow, whether it's her that pulls it out of you or what happens in life because she's there, when that stuff happens, for me, it's been a telltale sign every time, like, I'm in the right spot. Like, this is uncomfortable. This is pushing me. This is challenging me. This is helping me grow. And at the same time, this feels like home. Like, she feels like home. And that's something you said to me forever, is especially living on the road for so many years and then having family in Brazil. I'm not crying, I promise. I'm just very stuffy from being sick. Although there'd be nothing wrong with crying here. Being on the road and traveling so much and being in calling different places home. We've never, I think now we call Austin home, but we got home in New York. We got home in Brazil. We got home here. The world is kind of our home. And Bia's always said to me, you're my home, wherever you are. And that's been, I would say, the most defining way of explaining our relationship, is that we're just home for each other. And I think that came from us being home for ourselves first.
My homie.
Yo, you my homie. Kid. Yo, dap it up, brother. Let's go. All right. Well, Bia's got a chiropractor appointment in the house. Chiropractor's going to be banging on the door in any second. So we got to go. Any last words?
No, it's just trust your heart, and you always know the answer. And I know sometimes it might be confusing, but trust that the journey that you are in and finding the right person is just a concept, and don't get too attached to that. Get into your body, feel your heart, and you will know. That's it.
The more we can get out of the head and drop into that heart thing and not get so attached to the rest of the stuff, man, I found that to be, in all areas of my life, the most freeing, the most inviting, and the most exciting. So I hope that in some capacity, what we're talking about today with our story can serve and better help you with yours. And of course, the way that we're doing it isn't right. It's one way. It's not the way. And we're just grateful to be able to share our story. And hopefully one little nugget of it is helping you make decisions in your life that feel really good for you. And I 100% know that there is the right person out there for you, right? People out there for you that are meant to help you along your journey of becoming more of who you're meant to be. So thank you so much for being with us. We're honored to be on this journey with you, exploring all these topics with you. Thanks for your ear in a time in a world where attention is so limited and we have so much stuff to do and so many things to digest. Thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it. We love doing this together. We love doing this with you. Lots of love to you all, and we'll see you on the next episode.